we're gonna start to work dogs. So your dogs have all been in this space, and you guys have heard this many times before, but I just want to remind everybody our general kind of order of operations for bringing dogs into new spaces. You guys are going to want to remind all of your clients to make sure they don't just rush right in and start to try to get to training. So the first thing that happens when a dog comes in a new space is it needs to get to know me, and he needs to get to know the environment. So I mentioned that my personal classes, the way they're run, is I do require people to do privates with me prior to coming into a group class, because that eliminates the dog being weird with me at all. So the dog already knows me, they already have a relationship with me. So if maybe I've gone to their house and I've done private training with them, so the dog knows me, but they might not know my training facility. So I want to have as many pieces of comfort as I can with the dogs ahead of time. So that right there will weed out the dog having to get to know you day one. But if you choose to, and many instructors who do require privates before regular obedience classes don't for nose work. And your dog absolutely needs zero obedience to do detection of any kind, right? So there's no prerequisite of obedience for this at all. But what I will say, just as a general nod, we'll talk, you guys, because you're in the immersion program, have 2 straight days of classes with me where we talk about forming curriculums and all that good stuff. But what I will say is that the couple times that I have made exceptions to the rule where people have called me and they've said, hey, financially, I cannot afford to do private training and then come and do nose work classes. I've got this 4-year-old lab. She's so sweet, but she's crazy. I need something for her to do. Can I please, please, please join nose work class without doing privates? And I'm a sucker, and I break my rules, even though I have my rules. And literally the last time I did this was with a 4-year-old sweet lab. And a very nice woman and her dog showed up to class that day. And a very nice woman and her dog had a collar on that was too big and wasn't safe. And what happened 45 seconds after she arrived? The dog slipped the collar and went after another dog because she neglected to tell me that her dog was dog reactive on the leash. No, her dog slipped the leash and fully went after another dog that was coming into class. So you can talk to people until you're blue in the face about any behavioral problems, any issues, any aggression. Lots of people have renamed their dog's behavior problem as something else in their mind because it doesn't sound as bad. So, oh no, she just gets really excited when she sees other dogs. Or it's just the leash. Or it's any number of things. It's only when there's fog in the morning. I mean, it doesn't really matter. So you can't rely on your clients to accurately assess what their dog's behaviors are. So I just caution everybody about letting someone come to a group class that hasn't already done privates. It's just not ever what I recommend, even though obedience is not required. Even if you just require one, a get-to-know-you appointment, where the dog comes in, you chat with the owner about their goals, you can block off 15 minutes of time. And if you're good and you can read behavior, you can go, okay, these are the things I'm concerned about, these are the things, and then you can counsel that owner from there. Hey, here's some of my concerns before you're coming in a group class, here's what I would recommend. Or you know what, you do have a super happy, friendly lab that just needs something to do. So sure, come on down and let's just start with nose work. So I always recommend, in some way, shape, or form, meeting these people and these dogs before class. So, had I not done that, when I bring the dog into the space, I just want to make sure the dog's comfortable with me. So if the dog seems at all tentative, I'll toss a couple treats to them. I won't reach in and try to hand them one. I'll just throw a couple treats on the floor. Will the dog eat treats? Will the dog take treats from the handler? Kind of assessing the dog's levels of anxiety or stress in the new space with me. And then if everything looks good and the dog's eating, even if the dog's really worried and they're not eating with vigor and they're pressed up against their owner, as long as they're eating, we can start this process. If I have a dog that will take food, then we can go at their pace and we can make little bits of progression every time we come in. If you have a dog who's not eating, there's much bigger problems that need to be addressed, and again, those are best addressed in private training. So once I've decided the dog's okay with me, they're okay with the training space, and they're taking food, then we can start actually training our dogs, right? And so when each one of you comes in with the dogs, I'm basically going to be narrating all the things that I see. So I cannot talk enough about, for new trainers, for people who are new to evaluating dog behavior, it becomes very difficult to assess behavior if in your mind you're assessing positive or negative connotations with a certain behavior. So sometimes when I start to do this, I'll say something like, I took a step toward the dog and the dog took a step toward the wall. I'll just be narrating what I'm seeing, the little things you want to pick up on. And every time at some point, someone will be like, well, what if it was an accident? That doesn't mean the dog doesn't like you. I said, I didn't say the dog didn't like me. I'm just making an observation that when I took a step toward the dog took a step away. I'm going to do that several times, and if it was a fluke, it'll come out to be a fluke. Maybe the next time I take a step forward and the dog runs up and jumps on me and licks me, right? But you will inhibit your ability to see behavior if you automatically tag things as good and bad. Just look at the dog, see all the things that are going on, and then from there you can assess kind of where the dog's mental state is at and what they need moving forward. Excuse me. I'm going to be playing the role of trainer for this first round, so everybody can see how it goes. So I'm going to run down all the steps that we're going to do before you guys get your dogs and bring them in here. And it's okay that you're going to forget almost all of them. I will remind you when you come in over and over and over again, and you guys will get quite good at it.
We post our social media videos to our website, Leerburg.com, a week or two before we post them to our YouTube channel. These early release videos can be found on the front page of our site or by going to the site and selecting Video on Demand from the toolbar, and then select Free Videos. Thank you for watching.